Hello, students, and in this presentation, we will be taking a quick look at bestplaces.net. This might be a site that you're familiar with because the reference book Best Places was quite often looked at when the internet was not a tool that we commonly use. Best Places is fine for a quick orientation, but I want to be upfront and honest with students. Any figures that you cite or any information that you get in a written community analysis from here should come from a source that tells you clearly when the data was collected. As far as timeliness, Best Places doesn't consistently do this like you would find in Census or CDC Wonder or one of the other databases we looked at in previous little demonstrations. The data is probably not widely out of date. By looking and comparing it, I've seen that it's fairly close. It appears to draw from census estimates, but without clear attribution, you can't really cite it confidently in a community analysis. So what would it be useful for? Um, Here in the search, you can search by city, state, or zip code. I like any site that you can search by zip code. So we'll put in the zip code that we've been using previously. And um, we're navigating directly to the website or the information that is on us here. It does give us plain language snapshots for each of the topics that you see here. Um, you can see very plain language, a little snippet for each of these topics. And like I said, these are approachable for the layman and the person who you might be looking for. I'm interested in moving to so and so. Would this be helpful? Would this be a good place to go to? So, as far as getting any more data, the actual data tables behind these summaries, um, other than what you see here, are you see some basic numbers here, but any other complete, let's say, people statistics other than the snapshot are locked behind a premium subscription. So it's useful for these free, useful, readable summaries with the key figures, but for drilling deeper without paying, you'll probably need to use in coordination with the census information or the census data. But it's good for a quick orientation tool rather than the primary data source. So what is free? Well, you get those plain language snapshots, race and ethnicity breakdowns, family structure percentages, median ages, um, etc., job growth predictions, just kind of the absolute bare minimum in a nice nutshell. The the people stats. Let's look at those. It freely provides both the race and ethnicity, the breakdown, as well as a family structure. And this is in plain text, no data or no table reading required. What I see here is that 39.7% are married with children. And the household income, or I'm sorry, the race, 39.7, is Hispanic. So with married with children at 39.7 and Hispanic at 39.7, that paints a clear picture, I think, of a young, family oriented Hispanic community. Um, let's see. But it is buried, what, 3 clicks from the overview, so you do have to go that far in. Um, let's look at economy. Okay, I see here the income salaries. The average income for an individual here is 37,638, and the household income, um, that would be a combined income of about 90,074. That's striking, and it's also revealing. It means most households have multiple earners. In a community where nearly 40% of the households are married with children, I think that tracks. Two working parents, each earning moderate wages, combining to a solid household income. And this shapes format preferences for a collection developer. You have a busy dual income household, and that would lean toward audiobooks or ebooks and shorter formats. Um, what else do I see here? Let's go back to the overview. I like this pros and cons of living. A good snapshot once again. But in looking at all of these, the people and the other information that you saw, the race ethnicity is interesting. Nearly, well, I think would be about 4 in 10 residents combined with a median age of about 35, younger than the U.S. average, by the way, and 39.7% of them being married with children, um, and family oriented and Hispanic. Of course, that would mean for collection developers, Spanish language materials across all ages, bilingual children's titles, parenting resources in both Spanish and English. Looking at family structure, um, I think picture books, early readers, middle grade, YA, and then in nonfiction, parenting, homework help, summer reading. This should be a collection priority, not an afterthought. That income gap that we looked at is also quite striking. It would mean that many residents in this area, I think, are economically stretched, and this points toward personal finance, budgeting, career development, vocational training, and I think it makes a strong case for digital access since library cards are a meaningful cost saving resource. Having practical financial literacy, workforce development, accessible formats, free library services matter more in this community than in a wealthier one. So that's a good quick snapshot of best places. It's snapshots that are in plain language. That's good for a first orientation to a zip code, for particularly for those non-technical audiences. But you would want to use data.census.gov when you need the more authoritative, complete data with full tables and downloadable files and no paywall for subscriptions. I also want to mention that Best Places, as you can see from most of its pages, are very ad intensive. They got to pay for their site somehow. And be skeptical of what you see here. I'm not sure why. I just noticed that um, the picture that it provides for Beaumont, California, it looks like Big Sur, which is probably 200 or 300 miles away. So that is Best Places. Good starting point for a brief introduction to a community. Thanks, everyone.